All right, in this video, I'm going to show you how to use automation rules to create kits essentially, because in ShipHero, the kitting functionality, which we have other videos on, other tutorials on, works well, but there are certain situations that the kit feature does not work, or it gets kind of bugged out and syncing doesn't work. The example that we're facing right now and why we're kind of prompted this video as a workaround is when you have a virtual product that's part of a kit, the quantity of inventory doesn't appear to be syncing back properly with Shopify. And what I mean by this is, let's say that you want to sell a product on your website or a kit on your website, that the person gets a physical product, but then there's also maybe a virtual product or a product that's drop shipped, meaning it's not going to be included in that order. Maybe it's like a PDF that gets emailed to them or something like that, right? It's a not physical product. Well, when that's set up as a kit in ShipHero, the inventory sync does not work like it should. So the workaround here is to basically create a kit utilizing automation rules. And so I'm going to run through the two options there. So there's a few things that we need to do. The first thing is we need to get a list of what the kit components are, so to speak. This is one that I just created, but we're going to run through the next rule together. All right, so the way that we read this is when this SKU comes through, we need to add this SKU to it. And in this case, it is one large air plant and one shelf air plant. So we've got two SKUs that we need to add to the order when this SKU comes through. And here is what that looks like. So we go over to automation rules. We want to set up a list because this is containing multiple kit SKUs. So rather than creating an automation rule for every single one of these, what we can do is have ShipHero look at a list of different SKUs and then from there take that and trigger the automation. So we're going to create a new rule. I'm going to title this air plant group G, just because we have, H, because we've got a bunch of these. And our trigger is going to be SKU. Nope. There we go. All right, so we're going to tell ShipHero, okay, if the SKU is in this list, which is group H, which I must have messed up. Sorry, first thing we need to do is create the list. So this is going to be called air plant group H SKUs. Now the list needs to be comma separated. So if you were to save this right now, it wouldn't work. I found that using ChatGPT is really helpful if you do have a long list here. This is only 4 values, so I'm just going to add the commas in and then create. Now, just so we can double check, it doesn't load right away, so you'll want to refresh your screen. Now you'll see I put ground, which is not the right thing. This will be group H. We've got all of our SKUs there, so now we can hit save. So now we want to create the automation. This is going to be called air plant group H. And like I said before, we want it triggered off of SKU. In list contains tells ShipHero to look at a list of SKUs, and if that SKU is in this list, then it will trigger, so that's good. And then we have two options here. Now, if you wanted just a simple add-on, you could put this here. So this is saying add X units of a SKU. So let's say if one of the SKUs that was ordered here, they just ordered one of them, it's going to add 1 unit of this product. Which is good for a 1-to-1 ratio, meaning that if the kit components all have 1 unit of each thing in it, then that works. In this case, it doesn't, because we want to add, we add 1 large air plant and 1 large shelf plant. So actually, we could do this by adding 2 steps. So the first step is going to be adding this SKU here. And then we want to add another SKU, which is going to be this one here. All right, so let's translate this now to plain English and make sure that that matches our requested setup here. So the SKU is in this list, which is group H, so we're good there. and we need to add 1 unit. So if 1 SKU is ordered, we need to add 1 unit of this SKU, which is this one, so we're good. And then also add 1 unit of this SKU, which is this one, so we're good there. Then we can hit create. So now when an order comes through, it will automatically add those units to the order. Again, it's not going to be a kit in the eyes of ShipHero anymore. It's just going to look at it as all these different line items on an order. But that's really helpful for the warehouse to pick the right orders, assuming that these SKUs are set up as virtual SKUs in the backend, which we have other tutorials that will walk through that on how to do it. So the other way that you could set this up is, let's say you need to add multiple units per 1 unit. And here's a good example. So this other group said that if the SKU comes through and it's on this list, we actually need to add 2 units of a specific SKU as opposed to a 1-to-1. So the automation action that you want to set up for that is add X units of SKU for every Y units ordered. And I'm just going to show you what the placeholder is so that it makes it a little easier. So by default, this is saying, okay, quantity add, we want to add 2 units. Okay, what SKU do you want to add? We want to add this. Add multiple, for this case, we just want to keep it 1. So we don't want it to add any additional multiple beyond just this behavior here. And what that'll do is now if this is present, right? So this SKU is present once, or the SKU that's in this list, then it's going to add 2 units of this to the order. Which is really nice. So once you have this set up, then inventory should be syncing back properly. It should just manage inventory a little bit better. So that's how you utilize automation rules to create kits within ShipHero. Thanks.